Hey everybody, welcome to CineNerds. I'm James.
I'm JP.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we are talking about a pick by JP. When I thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. What's it called?
The Party Animal.
So, yeah, if you just go off of that alone...
Go ahead. Let's get
I hated this movie.
Let's just get your initial thoughts out here.
I fucking hated this movie.
Initial thoughts. Wow.
You got to understand something, everybody. All I heard was, it's funny. It's funny. It's Animal House times 100.
I never compared it to Animal House.
You did at one point.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, no,
Porky's.
I mistakenly thought that he was talking about Animal House, and that
I
was
said
our
Porky's.
Yeah, Porky's.
I never saw Porky. Either way, I was led to believe that this was going to be hilarious. I've learned now that if I'm dying of thirst and I needed JP to lead me to water, I'm going to die. Because this fucking movie is so bad. Hold on, I need to see something. This was a 78-minute runtime movie.
Tell me how you really feel about it,
Do you know how many
James.
times I laughed? The answer is 0. Not once. I didn't even no grin, no chuckle.
Listen, there was some
Nothing.
real stupid funny moments in
No,
this.
There's a lot of
stupid.
real
No, it's stupid keyword in
funny
what you
moments.
just said.
It
The
is.
whole
It's
thing
so
was stupid.
The only thing you can do is laugh.
I have learned, like, I love the 90s dumb movies. Airheads. Anything Adam Sandler, let's just say. Let's just stay out there. You know, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and whatever. Biodome. Tommy Boy. I have learned that the dumb, quote-unquote, dumb movies from the 90s, JP loves the ones that were worse from the 80s. Like, this was so bad.
There's nothing wrong with Ski Patrol.
You haven't seen Ski Patrol.
I actually
either.
have seen Ski Patrol
all right.
when I was a kid.
But that's
but
way
I'm not
better
gonna lie.
than this.
I'm not gonna lie, 'cause I'm an adult now, so I can just be honest. We only had it on because my buddy had all the channels, and we were like, "Why are they skiing with no shirts on?" Well, there's boobs. We're 10. We're like, "Well, we'll at least stare at the boobs." But
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the
All right.
storylines.
Well, you said the word. I'm going. This was one of my biggest complaints about this goddamn movie. If you're gonna have naked women in a movie, at least give them good boobs. Those were awful boobs, all of them. Like there's maybe a few that were redeeming, but oh my god, I was disappointed in the boobs. But anyways,
So basically, Ryan doesn't like 80s boobs.
Ryan
No.
doesn't like 80s boobs.
there were good ones. Those weren't it. They were like, all of them were like.
And you watched this with your wife, right?
I did. And
Did she
fell
complain
asleep.
at all? Oh, see, that's how bad it was. Your wife fell asleep.
Well, she's not going to see things the way JP or I would either. So it's different.
You just lumped yourself in with him on this movie.
Yeah, because I do see eye to eye with him a lot. I have noticed this with you too. I am definitely the middle ground here. Our last episode, we discussed Slumberland, and I was the middle ground. You loved it. You hated it, and it seems like this is the flip, and I'm still middle ground on this one. So we'll get there.
I would rather watch Hobo with a Shotgun again than watch this movie ever again.
Wow.
We're making an impact.
Wow.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
see what you did now.
It's
It's psychological.
I'm not saying I'm gonna watch it again.
You give him shittier and shittier films, so he appreciates the one before. I like this.
Dude, I showed up yesterday to Wayland's and I had the DVD in my hand. And I go, get this shit out of my hand, and I just handed it to him. He didn't even say nothing. He just.
For those of you watching the podcast, by the way, when you drink, it helps if you open it. That was I just went.
So,
I mean, can I ask one question?
please.
The girl in the beginning standing there watching him drive.
Okay,
Was she anywhere else in that movie?
she's the devil.
She's the devil.
That's what you. What?
Yes.
He said out loud. Remember, he screamed out loud.
He even said,
"I'd sell my soul
my
to get a
soul
piece."
for a piece of ass.
Yeah.
That
So
was supposed to be the devil.
That's the devil. That's their
This movie
version.
was so bad. Don't just. You can't find anywhere to watch it. Don't go look for it. Just listen to us. Listen to JP try to justify this bullshit. and
But
then just forget it exists.
If you buy the DVD,
oh Jesus, where are you going to
look.
find that?
Oh, it's very. You can find it very easily.
Walmart
Go to
and
Amazon.
the dollar bin.
You can go to Amazon, and it's one of
50
the
cents.
has that gold band MGM production on the top. It like makes it look classy.
This is like
This-
the worst cover ever.
Whoa, let's rewind here.
He said
That is
classy.
what you determine as classy. Okay, that's
That gold
It's,
band.
So,
it's real
so do
classy.
you
like.
save these so you have classy drinks upstairs? Because y'all save this before you can wash it.
This is going to be a great.
I'm going to-
Storm,
episode.
this is for you,
You know
buddy.
what? Here's what.
If you watch this, Storm, this is for you, pal.
Here's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go to Dollar General by my house.
And you're going to try to find this movie?
No, I'm going to pick 3 random ass fucking movies. I don't know what they are or anything. Just 3. I'm putting them in a bag, and we're each going to pick one, and that's what we have to go with. Because he just said those are all the movies that are classy. By the way,
Anything with MGM. Anything that says MGM.
Those
It's got to
are-
be good.
there's-
It's got the lion
Oh
on
my
it. It's got to
God.
be good.
It's got the had a gold band across the top. It's like MGM Classic.
Classic. That's like saying any car that's like 20 years old is historic, even though it's trash.
that's like there's a movie. There's the movie The Avengers, and then it's like Team Avengers, like the knockoff. That's got a little gold label, so it's classy.
Yeah.
By all means, please explain this movie.
Okay, so
Fuck.
to give you guys an
Same
idea of what kind of movie this is, the movie starts with Pondo. The main guy's name is Pondo.
Pondo Sinatra.
Pondo Sinatra. And yes, that is his name.
The character.
He is riding on the back of a turnip truck.
Meanwhile, keep in mind, this guy was in his 30s playing a 22-year-old. He was already going bald kind of up here. Like, Jesus Christ.
He is riding on the back of a turnip truck to college. While the devil, the girl, the female devil, is looking down off of a cliff,
If that's what that was supposed to be.
watching him ride on the back of a turnip truck to college. He literally falls off the turnip truck into college and meets his new best friend, Studley.
Studley. Hold on, real quick. Just there's a couple things. So, yes, you're right with the age because if you remember in part of the story, which I know you weren't too exactly focused on,
I was focused on nothing. I was
he's
focused
already
on,
done. He's
I
already
was
done
counting
freshman,
time
sophomore,
down.
and junior year. This is his 5th senior year. If you remember, they said that in the
I do
story.
remember
So
that
he's
now.
about 28 to 30 in that ballpark. And that also, another fun thing, my wife, because she was still there alive, awake in the beginning part, she pointed out while the turnip truck's driving, the vegetables that are sitting on the back keep changing every time they go back to him. So there's different, but go ahead. That's what you found funny.
You laughing this hard right now explains everything, and this might be my last episode.
I haven't seen you laugh this hard. This is good.
Between classy McDonald's cups and shitty movies, JP is just happy.
He didn't say classic McDonald's cups. He said classic because the gold line MGM
Well,
on the
he's
movie.
getting my cup now. I'm going to wash it and leave it up there for him.
So the premise of this movie is after he gets to college, Pondo is a virgin.
Pondo.
And he wants to get laid. So he spends the entire movie going out on dates and being a complete moron to every female that he runs
But it's
across.
not funny, moron. It's not funny, moron. It is to him. Look at him right now.
It's the equivalent of a woman having a guy message her dick pic right away today.
Yes.
That's what most of this is like in the 80s, though.
The hot
Yeah.
dog down the...
Also, this movie can't decide if it wants to be a movie or a documentary. And I love that. They can't decide. There's like the first like little bit is shot like a documentary, and then like the rest of the movie is like a movie, and then at the very end it's like a documentary again.
That wasn't my takeaway. I don't think this movie can decide much of anything.
So, and Pondo is also from Alabama. And when he meets Studley, he talks about how he would sell his soul for a piece of ass. And Studley's like, well, just go get you a girl. Why can't you get laid? And he's like, I'm from Alabama. He's like, what? They don't have sex in Alabama? He's like, we've lost the war.
Now, to piggyback off that, this character Pondo
I was so
had this
zoned out.
the Confederate flag for most of the
zoned
movie
out
in his
the
shirt.
whole time. I was wondering, why is he wearing a Confederate flag on everything his pajamas, everything had a Confederate.
Now,
it just makes sense now. I missed that because I was
give-
like, this is so. I was probably bitching about how bad this movie was to hear that.
To give context further on this, this is an era. This movie was made in the Dukes of Hazzard era.
85.
So
84.
84. So yeah, it's that era. And that was Dukes of Hazzard then.
No, Dukes of Hazzard, wasn't that like 70s? Late 70s?
Early 80s.
Yeah,
Early mid 80s.
And then you had Blazing Saddles in the 70s. So it's still I love that movie. I think it's a staple for comedy basics. I think it's great. But anyways, that window had very uncomfortable things like Confederate flags still as a beacon of whatever, I don't know. And they definitely honed in on it. With Pondo.
With Pondo Sinatra. He also meets, and maybe you call it what?
79 to 85 Dukes of Hazzard.
Studley at some point takes Pondo to his teacher in the sexual arts, and it's an old guy named Elbow. And I still, to this day, do not know what the fuck does Elbow do? Does he work on a farm? Is he a janitor? What the heck?
He's the janitor.
He's
the janitor at the college.
I couldn't figure out.
I took him as a custodian.
Well, that's what I thought forever.
An Elbow is African American, and as he's teaching him the arts, he teaches him in all the wrong ways. We'll say that to the point where Pondo thinks he's black. And he dresses like
uses some words that shouldn't be said.
Yep, using some words he shouldn't be said. He dresses as a 70s pimp, if you will, with a feather hat and everything. And he goes to an African-American party, and he walks in saying all the wrong things you could imagine a white person saying in front of a group of black people who don't receive it well. Very, very funny for the era of humor that it was put in place. Not today, though, by any means.
Not funny either.
He just found everything about it not funny. But
there was nothing funny.
If you appreciated the before referenced Blazing Saddles, then you'd appreciate this moment more than most. Elbow definitely appreciated sending him to this party. You could tell.
Elbow enjoyed sending him to get his ass beat.
Yes. So it was very, very, very wonderful moment.
I'm zoning out like I did during the movie already.
You can zone out all you want.
I did not like this movie one bit. There was nothing redeeming about this movie.
That's because it was kind of a documentary of your life growing up and how long it was for you to be a virgin. He's still zoning out because he doesn't want to hear the truth.
There was nothing about this movie to even talk about. I at least had something to say about Hobo with a Shotgun. I at least had something to say about Radioactive Dreams. I told him on the way here, I was like, I would rather watch Radioactive Dreams again on YouTube.
See? The shittier the movie, the more he appreciates the other ones. This is great.
No, I don't appreciate them. I'm just saying,
Sounds like you said, if you'd watch it again, you appreciate it.
I'm never going to waste my time like that. I got better things to do, like rewatch The League for the 15th time.
I would absolutely, if I got a good copy of Radioactive Dreams, I would watch that.
I would love to see it, and if somebody get me a good copy of that movie so I can actually give it a fair shot.
Yeah, because I do think that
Hobo is just trash.
Well. No, I disagree.
Trash. Trash.
I can't believe you're calling Rutger Hauer trash.
Trash.
Wow.
Trash.
So at this point, Studley sends Pondo for a makeover.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
wait,
this is a painful.
Wait, there's actually before we even go there, one thing. Did you catch the murder? Pondo murdered somebody, and then nothing else is said. Nothing else is said about it. Did you catch that?
No.
Studley is laying in bed with two girls.
Oh, yeah.
And Pondo is there with a gun in his mouth because he threatens to kill himself every time a girl dumps on him. And he pulls the gun down and it accidentally fires and it shoots one of the girls.
And she rolls off
the bed. And Studley's just like, I've got another one.
There's no response. There's another one. And then they don't even acknowledge her or she doesn't come back in at all. So she's dead.
There is a murder in this film. He murders somebody that's never mentioned again. But the makeover. He goes to get a makeover. He goes into the wrong store, and they make him all punk rock. They put a power
not
drill.
punk rock.
They put a power drill to make it pierce his nose.
It's not punk rock. He looked like the
He
looked like the Wish version of the Hunchback of
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
He comes out looking like the Hunchback.
Punk rock hunchback.
Punk rock Hunchback. Well, all the locals start hunting him like he's the Hunchback. He chases him. He climbs a statue. He's like, "I'm not a monster." They all get quiet. One guy goes, "You look like a monster to me." And
Animal. Not animal. Yeah.
Not an animal.
Which made me, when he yelled it out, I thought it was animal. Like, I think of, like, Muppets. Like, so. I had to bring you in somehow. I know you love your Muppets. No?
How'd you feel about the sex shop?
That was the dumbest part.
That was great.
No. So unnecessary. Like, he's playing with things like he has no idea what they are.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't. He's an idiot.
Then you got the
That's
other
whole
two
point.
idiots talking about bombing.
They're using
Nuclear
they're using the
warheads.
dildos as
Nuclear
warheads.
warhead. Dude, this is the dumbest. 12-year-old wrote this script.
The double-sided dildo. What do you do with this? It's for twins. I was like, what?
Even I didn't laugh at that.
And then the dildo he gets is a giant vibrator.
The missile.
The missile. It's like a
fucking-
missile. He's like riding it. It's like, 5 feet long.
I like that the dean is in her office reprimanding him for the use of this vibrator, and she's holding it and hugging it in her office while he comes in. Like we have to talk about this.
You were laughing way too hard at this movie.
I'm just saying this right now. Noah, you better not be watching this episode. Just letting you know.
You can't find the movie anyway. It's nowhere to be found.
Doesn't matter. It's hearing Dad talk about things.
At this point, for some reason, Pondo becomes a genius scientist. Which is never really mentioned at any point.
He's not genius scientist. And how it was like his runoff that he got lucky with. Like he was just playing with chemicals.
He starts trying to make a love potion, and he's testing it on all these women he's going out with, and he gives it to is she Italian?
Well, there's a swap that happens. The girls are pranking him, and they swap what he thinks are what's aphrodisiac.
Yeah, and they swap it with a gas pill.
With fart pills. Yeah, it says in the bottle.
And he goes and picks her up. He gives her the pills. And then she starts farting, and she cannot stop farting.
But he assaulted her to give her the pills, and she just sat there like, "Okay, yeah, let's go now." You just threw these down you just threw something I have no idea what it is down my throat, and then she's embarrassed that she can't.
You know what? The '80s were a different time.
And how you couldn't laugh at 80 farts in a row in a car while
because
on a
I'm
date.
not 10.
Let's be real. Yes, you are.
I mean, it's funny for once or twice.
Wait, this is the guy who, when he shakes my hand, tickles the inside of my palm. Really?
You like it.
Jesus
He had
Christ.
a gas mask on because she was farting.
You should have definitely liked that moment.
I didn't. There's not one part of this movie I even remotely laughed, smiled, grinned, nothing. I just sat there counting down. I literally looked at what time was left in it, and I figured out what time, and I'm like, okay, it'll be over at this time.
He went on one date towards the beginning of the movie, and he looked at the one girl and said, "Roses are red." Said, "Read me some poetry." He said, "Roses are red, violets are blue. You got big titties. I can suck on them too."
Not funny.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm laughing because look at this idiot. He's dying over here at this shit.
All right, so I'm going to jump in here.
JP's
I'm going to
1
jump
for
in
3
here.
on
Hold
on
on.
picks.
So 1 for 3?
I liked Fat Man.
He'll like my next one.
But there's 4. Anyways.
What was the other one?
No, you'll like
No,
my
no.
next
Radioactive Dreams.
No.
Hobo was fan selected, so never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick
I
Hobo.
mean, we can make it his.
And
No, I didn't pick it.
Technically, you liked Hobo and Radioactive Dreams.
No,
you
technically,
said you would watch them
No.
over this.
No, you're missing the point of this.
Is that
Say what you're
am
going
I-
to say, because this was just... This is going to be the short episode, because there ain't nothing to say about this fucking movie.
Oh, there's plenty.
Yeah, I'm far from done. So I am the only reason I'm mad about this movie is because in our initial intro to CineNerds podcast episode, we talked about some of the movies that inspired us and what we love, and I chose Night of the Living Dead and Porky's as a pair for my number 3, and that's because I saw these two movies when I was 6 years old, and Porky's was a defining moment for me with how I perceive ladies. It was very frat culture,
and Porky's is a much better film.
Oh yeah,
it's a much better
for
film.
sure. But I misunderstood what he said. So to me, I thought he said it was like Porky's on steroid, and it's. But apparently he said it was 1,000 times worse than Porky's. I'm thinking it's like
I heard worse. I'm thinking it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be like over the top, sexualized.
Literally worse.
It was literally worse.
Terrible.
So I can't put it next to Porky's by any means, but by redefining what you meant by worse, we quickly found out.
He's so proud of himself.
I was waiting for you to pull your shirt over your face.
This was 78 minutes of my life I'm never getting back.
I mean, we're welcome to what we're doing here. We're going to have a lot of those.
That's how I felt when I watched Slumberland.
You like the pig. At least you like something.
I did like
There was
the pig.
nothing I liked about this. You had a little bit of something.
I can't talk shit about it because I cried. So whatever.
What, Slumberland?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out.
I mean, I rated it fairly, but it's still, yeah. Anyways, so bad boobs, no story.
35-year-old playing a 20-year-old.
There were random moments of appreciation for just the crazy, utterly insane, over the top moments where they would cross the line. Those moments I could understand, but that's it for me.
I guarantee he laughed hysterically the first time he ever saw that movie, and it just said whorehouse.
Dude, I was like 8 years old when I first saw this movie. I thought it was the best thing ever.
This explains a lot. This actually explains why he still likes it. Because he saw it at the exact, basically, age I was saying. I'm like, what? Did a kid write this? Because he's never
Zombies and nude women at 6. Nude women at 8. I mean, yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot of fuckery.
You need to talk to your parents.
My parents didn't know when I watched mine.
Yeah,
I snuck next door to the neighbor kid's place because he was 10, I was 6, and we could watch all his movies, and his parents left him alone during the day. So,
well, let's talk about the whorehouse scene. We skipped that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And he just reminded me. Pondo goes in. Studley takes Pondo to a brothel in which all the women punch a clock and leave.
Because this is after he's had his makeover, his punk rock hunchback makeover, and after he's been chased and tortured. So Studley takes him here on a wing and a prayer, hoping that they can deliver what he's been aspiring to have happen. And not one of these ladies wants to deal with him.
He can't even get laid in a brothel.
He did look really shitty after he got punk rockified. But yeah.
But he does end up making a love potion from all of his discarded experiments, all mixed together.
He finally is able to get laid by accident because of this concoction. It makes this girl who walks in the lab be all over him. He doesn't understand why it happens, and then what was it? He took off something, or he did something that switched it off. Washed his hands because it was on his hands originally. Yeah. And once he washed his hands, this girl just slaps him and walks out like she had nothing. She wanted nothing to do with him. And so that in itself, he realizes, he's like, it's got to be this stuff. So he's running back. No, wait, it takes him a minute.
It takes him a minute. Cleaning Elbow's getting ready to throw it down the drain, and he runs up there yelling for Elbows.
Like, no, I need that. No. And he dumps it on himself.
And he drinks it, too. He's like all over it. And at that point, he gets laid. Not only does he get laid, he goes into the women's dorm, and they all just mob him.
Like, he goes room to room, like, constantly. Like, through. So, yeah, it gets quite repetitive from there. I'll say that. He
goes through, and basically everywhere he goes, he's getting attacked by women. And he
Well, let's talk about something else with that though too. There was a scene that the dean changes into from a smaller white blonde woman to a larger black intense woman who's could mess him up and break him like a twig. When he goes to see the dean, though, again, because he's taught, I forgot why.
They expel him or something.
They expelled him and he's trying to get back in. That's right. And when he goes back in, he's got the pheromones or whatever's going on from this concoction he made. The secretary is a flamboyant gay man who corners him and is trying to do the same thing as what the women are, and it impacts him somehow differently. Yeah, that was also weird to me. Like, if it doesn't affect men, how come it affected him? I don't know if it's because he was more I don't know how that rolled, but that was interesting. But back to the women, though, he finally sees a whole window of this is getting enough. I'm not a piece of meat. As he starts like kind of acting, that type deal. And as we progress, there's a final scene. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. It was was it a laundromat?
It was a laundromat. He was trying to get his laundry done.
Yeah. This was the dumbest.
This is a perfect out. That's a crushed to death.
There's all these large women that decide they want some of Pondo. So Pondo dies by death by snoo.
Do you want to elaborate for those watching what the fuck you just said? Because what is snoo?
You never seen Futurama? No. Oh, there's an episode of Futurama where Fry,
I know the characters.
Zap Brannigan and the little alien guys always was Zap.
Okay.
They go to this planet and it's all full of nothing but Amazonian women. These huge Amazonian women. And so they sentence them to death by snoo. So they fuck them to death.
Okay.
They try to fuck them to death.
All right.
And they're happy, but it's sad about it.
There's so many questions I have. He's grabbing the bridge of his nose and he's like, "What the fuck am I hearing?"
So Pondo dies by
way too much time watching stupid shit.
You're not a Futurama fan either?
You like Simpsons, don't you?
I've never seen an episode of Simpsons.
Really? I thought you were a Simpsons
Ride the ride all the time, though.
Okay.
So, Pondo dies by death by snoo, or he is fucked to death. And it goes back to the documentary style at this point. And everybody's...
Yeah, you hear Is Elbow is he the narrator?
I think he might be.
Okay.
And, but it goes
I've
back...
never even caught his name.
It goes back to all the women, and they were basically talking about how disgusting Pondo was, and then Studley talks about how he became like this legendary ladies man because of the serum, and then it shows Studley at the end in the courtyard at the college, and there's a little bunny rabbit with a rebel flag on its back
that they painted on this poor rabbit.
It wasn't painted; it was a little actual flag
that was showing that Pondo was reincarnated as a bunny rabbit.
And that references a scene in the movie earlier where they're like, he had to have been, because of what he was doing, he had to be a jackrabbit in his last life because he, so that was why that happened. But me personally, this is one of those ones that's just dumb funny. Like, I wouldn't rewatch it
ever.
Probably not. But
he probably watches
for
it once
those
a week.
Those few moments that were so out there that they were fucking hilarious, I did appreciate those moments. But there were fewer of those than anything with any kind of meat and potatoes.
There's only one thing.
Oh, we got something?
I did think the guy who played Pondo. Every fucking time.
Sinatra.
He was very animated in his acting. He was a good actor. But the story was such shit that I just didn't care.
Every time you just said Sinatra the way you just did, now in my head I have Pondo Sinatra instead of Rico Suave. Tell me you know the song Rico Suave. Okay. So Pondo, Sinatra.
You guys are burning brain cells right now on stupid shit.
Okay, so I couldn't find a lot of fun facts about this
Because
film.
it sucks so bad, no one wanted to write about
Dude,
it.
why would you say that sentence first of all in this? Because like, as soon
There's
as you
no
said that,
fucking reason to talk about
as soon
it.
as you said that, I was like, James, you got it open.
We're the only fucking podcast on the planet that's talking about this dumbass movie.
And that's why we are amazing.
However, I feel like I need to let James know that Matthew Causey is the guy's name that plays Pondo.
I looked him up.
Did you see what he is or what he does for a living now?
He is real estate.
No. He is a professor at Trinity College, and he is the director of arts and technological research in the School of Drama. He is a professor. He teaches kids how to act.
At college, as the party animal.
But I thought he was a good actor. I thought his acting is actually good.
Full circle.
It's just the fact of he had a shit script. This movie was trash. What other movies has he done? I didn't look that up. Has he done
He has a few. He's done a few, but not many.
So then what gives him the credit to do that? That just shows if you
I
go
would
to school and
assume
get a
it's a
piece
degree,
of paper, you
yeah.
can fucking do it. That proves it right there. Get that piece of paper, and yep, you can have the job.
Pondo's still a better actor than Jason Momoa.
Oh, you know what?
They're pretty even, bro.
Jason, I'm sorry. I won't insult you there. Okay, just there we go. I got to talk to Jason because I can't talk shit away from Jason. Jason, you're good there. You win.
Okay, so
Worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
it's not the worst movie.
is.
There's funnier movies. There's better movies. It's the worst. But this is one of these movies that I feel like everybody needs to see.
No, don't.
once.
No, do not even
Once.
bullshit. Oh,
Once.
you're gonna get death threats. You get unmarked boxes on your front step. You're afraid to open. Anthrax is gonna come back.
I'm okay with this. I accept my fate.
You shit. It'll be quick.
This movie could have been
It had-
a half hour
Oh, absolutely.
and delivered the same message. And
15 minutes.
no, half
This could have
hour.
been a half of a SpongeBob episode.
No, half hour's good. Just alone, it's gonna take you 15 minutes to get through all the ladies he went through. So
All the seductive crawling for no damn reason for 15 minutes.
or all the Chippendale dancers that showed up randomly. Did you notice that?
I must have been looking at my phone at that point.
I was
looking at my phone at that point instead of
actually.
watching the
You know
movie.
what's funny about that
Guaranteed.
moment? That when the male dancer scene happened, I actually was looking at my wife. I'm like, I have so many questions about JP right now. Why he's making me watch this? Because those guys came into play before the boobs. So I was a little.
Or why Pondo was sitting there. While Pondo was at the Chippendales just watching the Chippendales dancers dance.
Can I learn some moves?
I think A, he wanted to know what the appeal was, and he was trying to understand it. But B, he was definitely checking out the girls. Like he looked up and smiled at the one girl, and she looked back like one of those deals.
Worst movie.
No,
What's your worst movie ever?
you want to know straight up?
Yeah,
I can tell you straight up.
The Happening.
never saw
The
it.
Happening
tell
was
you worse.
garbage.
Tell you one worse than that.
This.
House of the Dead.
Probably, but I never finished that one.
You have to, because the only redeeming quality of that is the slow motion boob run in the end. That's it.
Tale of a Vampire.
I've never seen it.
It's a Julian Sands movie. Remember Julian
Yeah.
Sands played Warlock?
Uh-huh.
Worst movie I've ever seen, and it's called Tale of a Vampire.
I can only
And
imagine
I literally
how bad a movie is if you're saying it's
I
that bad.
I cut it off like probably 10 or 15 minutes before it ended, and I never once saw a vampire once
That's how
in
I
this whole
felt during
fucking movie.
Radioactive.
So I have a love and hate for the first movie was amazing, 28 Days Later. The second movie, the 28 Weeks Later, I enjoyed that equally, but at the same time, when I was walking out, I'll never forget this as long as I live. There was another person walking out, and he goes, I felt like it was 28 months later. And I was like, oh, that's like probably one of the worst honest reviews I've ever heard in my life. Now they're making 28 months later. That's in production.
Okay, so 28 days later, it's a Danny Boyle film.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about Danny. Me and you were behind. Well, he wasn't here. We were talking about Danny Boyle.
I went to get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, you went to get a cheeseburger. I'm a huge Danny Boyle fan. If I was to put a top 20 list up, I probably would say there would be 3 or 4 of his films in that top list. 28 Days Later being one.
It's a stellar film.
Not only is it a fantastic horror film, it is one of the best films ever made.
Approaches at zombies, for sure.
I don't trust anything you say anymore after watching
No,
this.
No,
seriously.
I second
Seriously,
it.
yeah.
It's
Danny Boyle is just a
You had me.
fantastic director.
The thing is, you had me. You gave me Willy's Wonderland.
I just got the idea for the
So,
sequel.
then you gave me
Zombie
Fat Man.
Poncho.
So the thing
Fuck your life.
the thing with 28 weeks later, Danny Boyle didn't do that movie.
Okay.
That was why the movie was shit. That movie was garbage compared to 28 Days Later.
I didn't mind it.
28 years later, that's being worked on.
I thought it was 28 months later.
No, what's being worked on is 28 years later. Cillian Murphy's coming back.
Okay.
And you like Cillian Murphy.
Is it Chilean or is it Cillian?
Cillian. I always say Cillian.
Is there an H?
Isn't there H in it?
No.
Well,
It's an Irish spelling. It's
okay,
Cillian.
well, I'm not Irish, so I don't know. I'm Southern. I pronounce things how I want.
We're going to that conversation again? We did that last night, too.
The big one in our house, the fight that's now going into my 11-year-old is coupon versus coupon. Sound off.
Coupon.
No, it's definitely
There's
coupon.
no Q.
Dude,
It's C-O-U.
conjugate! When you overtake a government, what is it called? A coup! How is that spelled? Anyways, this is a fight that's been going on 22 years in our household. It got to the point where my wife and I now say paper savings statement instead of fighting.
That was funnier than anything in that movie. That was funnier than anything I watched. That 78 minutes of that bullshit movie.
My son comes downstairs the other day and he goes, Mom, do you have a coupon? And I'm like, no. Not in this house. You are not starting that shit. It's coupon. I go, I don't care if you want to say, because eat both ways are acceptable by Webster's dictionary. But, no, the way phonetically and the way that it works is coupon, motherfucker. Anyways, sorry. I got a tangent. It's a painful 22 years.
So we do not have any numbers on this movie.
There is
how
no
bad it is.
There is
you
no
can't
numbers.
even find fucking numbers on this
You
movie.
can't find numbers for the budget or box office.
Because the box office was like 4 hours. They showed it twice, and they were like, fuck this. No one showed up. So it's 0. The number's probably 0.
Is that your rating or your...
You know what's funny about this? The first time I watched this, I watched it off of pay-per-view.
You paid for it. You were like, looks funny. Credit card.
So wait, let me get this straight. You were 8, and how'd you order it on pay-per-view?
My dad had a descrambler on one of the big old satellites.
Oh my God.
And so I had pay-per-view for free.
No.
I was younger than 6 when I first had the introduction to heavy metal. That was a cartoon at least, but I was like pretending like I'd fallen asleep in the living room. My pops had it on, just playing, and I'm like, as soon as I saw cartoon boobs, I was hooked. I was locked.
And then it was a long road to Porky's. And
Boobs make everything better. Seriously.
Except for this movie, huh?
Listen, wives, I'm going to tell you this. Even this movie, boobs. I mean, well, there's some rough boobs in this. I stand by that. I stand by that. But I will say this. If my wife knows, if she's ever pissing me off or I'm ever crossing the line where I'm getting like cranky, whatever, boop, and all of a sudden everything's better.
It's quantity, not quality.
Everything's better.
Dicks for you, probably. This movie was trash.
Pondo.
I'm waiting for you to try and be like thrifty and modern and be like, bro, your movie was head ass, dude. Head ass.
I don't even know what that means. I don't want to know what that means.
Current kids lingo.
I'm good.
Who told you that? Crickets. Anyways.
So there was one other thing. Studley, the guy that played Studley, and I didn't write his name down. But, he actually went on to have a really good career.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of different stuff.
He's in Yellowstone.
But he's also... Wasn't
Who
he in
is he
Revenge?
in Yellowstone? I love Yellowstone.
You
Don't make
would.
me hate Yellowstone's
You
good. Go
would.
fuck yourself, Yellowstone. I already closed out of this shit movie.
So somebody gave me this comparison, and I thought it was fucking spot on. So I was one of the few people who, the week that Sons of Anarchy aired, I watched it. I wanted to see it. I thought it was cool. I watched through the entirety of the series. I thought it was great. However, I did not go out and get a patch and a coat and a motorcycle all because of a show like some people did. It caused this weird influx where people thought they were like motorcycle gangs and bikes, and it was stupid. So now it's like everyone who doesn't have that to cling on anymore has jumped over to Yellowstone.
They want to be cowboys.
Yeah, now they're all cowboys. They're buying land in Montana and shit, and there's the Yellowstone bourbon now. There's all this weird shit. So I like Yellowstone. I just don't like the fandom, I guess.
That's any fandom.
No, I get that, but the show's great.
I think I've told you guys my Kevin Costner story, yeah? I
don't think you have, or I don't remember.
I was a cook.
Oh, he's that guy.
I was a cook at Herb's Tavern in Rocky River, here in Ohio. And when Kevin Costner is in town, he's got friends and family here, and apparently he visits Herb's Tavern every time he comes in.
He's got a house in Avon.
He used to have one of those houses that's on Wigger Road in Rocky River that was overlooking the valley.
Okay.
But when he was in town for this, he was recording some movie. He came into Herb's Tavern for a burger. I was 15. It was one of my first jobs, and I'm cooking. I'm at the grill. I'm making the burgers. I get my boss comes in, and he goes, Ryan, come on out. He goes, I got somebody who wants to talk to you about the burger. I'm like, fuck, what'd I do wrong? I'm thinking like the worst. I go outside. I walk right outside the kitchen door, and at the end of the bar, they had the whole area sectioned off just so he could have it. It's Kevin Costner sitting there. And he goes, hey, I just want to take a second and thank you. Your burger was really good. It was awesome. And I looked at him, I'm like, I liked Waterworld. Literally, I meet Kevin Costner, and those are my first words to him. And you know what he said? Cool as hell. He goes, I'm glad someone did.
You know what's funny about I like Waterworld.
Yeah, I think it's a great sci-fi movie. I don't care. It's amazing.
That movie is universally hated.
Robin Hood was good too with him.
That movie is universally hated, but honestly, it's one of my favorite Kevin
God,
Costner movies.
This explains. Okay,
one of the best chick songs ever of all time came out of that Robin Hood. By the way, with Brian Adams. Hell yeah.
God, that's so painful.
I'll do it for you.
Now he's happy. He got to sing that song.
I'm ready for this episode to be over.
Ratings.
Negative 500.
No negative.
We can't do negative.
0.0.
It has to be one. We already decided that.
0.01.
He's literal one.
There's no point. One.
I'm going to say...
If you go over 2, I'm punching you in the face.
I'm going to say... so, funny thing, I'm flat at 2. I'll stay at 2. That's 2 CineNerds for
I
me.
said if you go over 2, so you're safe.
I'm not... I ain't scared of you, bud.
Ain't nobody is, but I was just giving you a heads up. You're getting a ride home from JP, so you guys could talk more about this movie.
You do have a solid gun collection, so maybe I should rethink that.
I've got a good one,
and
too.
And I'm really good with a slingshot, actually.
Well, I hope you guys have accuracy, because if you don't fire right the first time, I win.
I ain't scared.
I ain't scared.
I can accept...
You're going to give a 4.9.
No, I'm not. No. Oh, no. No. This isn't the greatest comedy ever made. That's reserved for basketball.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Welcome to my side of the table.
Are you not a basketball fan?
I mean, I like it, but it ain't that good.
What's
Dodgeball's better than basketball.
What's the movie they made? Is it the Book of Mormon? What?
Orgasmo.
Orgasmo. Thank you. Where they play more. Now that I can get down. Basketball's a little bit rough.
Cock.
So, if you ever want to see quality, if you're a fan of South Park basketball and you haven't seen Orgasmo, you need to see that.
2.1.
He made us watch
Yeah,
it.
he did.
I'm
What
so
the fuck? That's why he's been laughing this whole time. He's like, I
setup
just
the whole
dragged it. Yeah,
time.
yeah. Dude. Oh, my God. But,
Remember what we talked about in the car?
which we...
Remember I said one of these days it's going to happen? And then you were like, well, then you can say this.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming next time. I promise you that.
We can't say that until it gets there.
Nope. You want to play games? Fuck around, find out, Pelly.
What?
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
You'll find out when it happens.
What happens?
You'll know.
When I pick something both of y'all don't like?
Oh, no, this is going to be worse.
What do I have to do for this to happen?
So you do it. Actually, it might save me some time. Swallow.
Good now. I'm good. On that note,
Tell them where to find us. I'm fucking done.
3 CineNerds. 3CineNerds@gmail.com is our email. Any questions?
Comments, concerns, anger mail,
Suggestions.
hate mail, death mail. Send it to JP on Facebook. Not to us, because it makes my phone go off, and it's going to make me even more mad that he made me watch this bullshit.
Linktree link is in the bio. Check us out. I'll leave it there. We're the CineNerds. We're out.
Fuck you, JP.